Hi, everyone. Welcome to Chair Yoga and Meditation. Today, it is the end of June, first part of July, and it's quite warm across our nation. It certainly is here where I live. So I'm going to do what's called a restorative practice. So it's slower moving, slower breathing. Everything about it is designed just to not warm up the body. Just the opposite of that. We're trying to do practices and awarenesses that tools, I guess, that we could use that will help us to cool down, settle down, not to warm the body. So I've got a couple things going on for your use, maybe. One of them is that you, for those of you who have followed me for a long time, this book is something I've recommended right from the get go. It's a skinny little book loaded loaded with yogic principles, with the tradition of yoga in its pure form, its beautiful form, in this little book. And it's got a morning, it's called a morning cup of yoga, and it's got a practice. It just gives you a step by step. Here's something you can do. This little gal, that's the heroine of our story. She is in her pajamas and she does all her practices in her kitchen so that she can use the countertop, etc. It might sound corny for those of you who are not familiar with it, but for those of us who have grown to know it, it's not corny. It's great. It's great. So I'm actually using that kind of as a structure for the movements that we'll do today. So you'll have it at your fingertips if you happen to own the book. Anyway, couple things I want to remind you of or tell you about with a restorative practice is that when you exhale through your mouth, it's cooling. So whether or not I consistently coach that in terms of our breath practice, tip of the day is if you can remember that exhaling through your mouth. Now, it doesn't have to be a big ha kind of breath, but just letting the breath out gently through your mouth is more cooling. So it's something to keep in mind and something that you might indeed want to utilize. So let's see, what else do I want to start with? Oh, I guess I have a kind of a theme. Because of this restorative nature of our class, it makes me think of peace. And I think of several weeks ago now, I brought to mind the idea that saying, the song, it was used in my churches over my growing up for sure. Let peace begin with me. Remember that phrase, let peace begin with me. That's kind of our theme for today, so that we can generate a peaceful intention of the body, mind, cooling, self-nurturing, and then just see what that does in terms of your state of being. What do you bring forth when we begin with peace for ourselves, calming the nervous system is the primary objective. I'm checking my whiteboard here. Calming the nervous system is our primary objective. Self-awareness is our tool. So there's going to be a lot more talk like that, a lot less working real hard and fast. That's not for today. Today is a restorative practice. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to get the block between our legs. We're forward on the chair. I want you to feel your way into your feet. Using the block between your legs generates this sensation of engagement of the leg muscles. So we want that. And remember, your legs are in a right angle. So let's get fussy about that. It is the particular shape that we form does make a difference in the body in terms of protecting your joints, utilizing the body as it was so beautifully designed. So you got to be a little fussy about that. So making sort of an imprint with your feet to the floor, squeezing the block just enough that it holds the block there. And then sitting up very tall so it feels like you've just employed better posture right away. You're trying to expand, broadening through the collarbone, through the front body, so that you can immediately recognize that you're making more room for your lungs. And it's not the way we normally carry ourselves. I bet you 95% of us would have to agree. Some more and some less, but just holding ourselves better, pulling the shoulder back and down, keeping your arms close to the body, and making sure that the back of the head, I use the imagination of the wall. There's an imaginary wall back there, so that your head is well positioned right at the very top of the spine. You're not bringing yourself forward of that. It's just so much kinder for your neck when we do it that way. All right, let's close the eyes. And the breath practice, you remember that I have really come to rely on a more specific breathing practice to begin our classes, because we need something way different than the way we normally breathe, or we won't pay attention to it. We will lose track of it immediately. And therefore, we've just sort of defeated the purpose of breath awareness, because we just can't do it. The breath is too, it's too normal for us. It's just too sneaky. We don't even notice it. So we got to do something a little more drastic, if you will, a little more radical. So I think even something like counting is going to help. So I want you to try that. As you inhale, count how long it takes you to inhale. Exhale, how long does it take you to exhale? That you're not trying to find, like, is there a certain number I'm supposed to get to? No, not at all. You're just noticing the rhythm of your body, the rhythm of your breathing. You might remember that exhaling through the mouth on purpose today would serve you well. All the way in with the breath. Let's coach ourselves. All the way out with the breath. Just continue to count, even though you kind of got it. I know how long it takes me. I've figured that out. It's the discipline of it. It's the technique we're using to just stay in touch with the breath, using the numbers to help us. Exhaling out of the mouth. Override your rhythm now and exhale longer. Inhale and exhale longer. See what you can do, even if it's one count longer. Adjust the breath now so that you're mindfully overriding. Inhale, a long, deep inhale, yes, but an even longer, slower exhale. Out the mouth, if you can, if that feels good. Holding yourself in right alignment, holding your body and your posture in a place that feels good and right within your joints, within how you're holding your spine, engaging muscles, just to really give you a sense of stability and strength. Let's close the eyes now. If you haven't already done that, let's be sure the eyes are closed now for a moment. Now, see if you can let go of the counting, trust your awareness. Turn your hands so the palms are facing up, and be open to receive. Just that you sit with just this moment of intentionality, that you're here to receive the blessings of this restorative practice. I can feel it in my palms. I feel this when I bring my awareness to open palms like this with this intention of receiving. There's sort of a charge to it for me. It feels different. It's a felt experience in the palm of my hands. Let's exhale completely. Matter of fact, let's take a big inhale through the nose and then exhale with the big sigh that we know and love. Let's do that again. A big inhale through the nose, sigh it out. And then let's open the eyes. Release your arms now so that they're alongside the frame of the chair. And you're going to just extend one arm up and look up. One arm up, looking up, one arm down. So one arm is reaching to the floor and the other arm is reaching to the ceiling. And you're turning your gaze up. So it could be just your eyeballs because your neck is too stiff and tight, but it could be that you've moved your head as well and your face is lifted up toward the hand that's reaching up. Remember, we're going to try to exhale through the mouth if we can feel like that's a good rhythm, or even if it's once in a while, we remember. That'll work fine. Stretching, lifting, push your feet to the floor. Good. Now head comes to neutral and we're going to do a side bend. Now here's what I want you to try to do. Really straighten that arm. This is kind of what we do sometimes. We'll sort of make a little curl in it. Really straighten that arm on purpose. And it's a side bend, so it's leaning to the side. And the arm that's reaching to the floor, you're imagining that it got heavier and heavier, like somehow you are able to turn up the volume of the gravity that's pulling you to the side here. Push your feet to the floor. You got to be aware of your pelvis, otherwise you'll list way up, and you don't want that. So you're intentionally grounding through and leveling out in the pelvic region. Straight arm. Finish the breath you're on. We'll come back up and let it come on down. So I'm moving slower, and that's on purpose. Switching sides now, side two, reaching up. One arm now is reaching to the floor and the other one reaching up. So you've switched those arms, looking up or just turning your eyes up, however you can manage it. What feels right to you. Now, the key here in this simple structure is to notice everything, is to pay attention to every old thing, every part of your body that you notice. This is not the way you sit and have your coffee. So you're feeling different. So this is just noticing what's active, how it might affect your breathing to hold your body this way. Reaching up, looking up with a nice smooth breath. We're in no hurry today. This is a restorative practice. All right, now that straight arm is going to just stay that way as we find a deeper bend to the side now, a bend where that arm that's reaching to the floor has gotten heavier. Just with your imagination. Amazing how powerful that is. Remember to balance through your pelvis. The natural tendency automatically is to list, but we're going to override that, build a little strength, to build some resistance by really firming that connection to that side of the body, to the chair seat, so that we have a better experience of opening through that extended side. One side of the body is extended, the other side of the body is contracted. Just FYI, that's what's happening. That's what we've engaged. One more good breath, heavy arm, and then let's lift both arms up. Palms will come together. Inhale, look up. Big inhale, exhale, bow at your heart. Let's pause here. Bowing at the heart, thumbs are right there at the chest bone. Take a moment. Smooth out your breath. And so just noticing, our goal today, really noticing, much more self-awareness. Pressing our palms together, we can feel that. Even the fingers, oh, yep, they're touching, they're pressing. Strong belly wall. We can add that if we didn't have it before. So you're pulling through the navel area in toward the spine, so it feels very stabilizing for the low back, and it's just feels strong. Just feels strong in the body when we do it. Inhale back up. Exhale, take your backstroke all the way down and around. We're going to move through our cow and our cat, pulling the arms back and really arching the back body. And we're going to do it very slowly. So it's going to elongate your breath. So you'll really have to pay attention now. Long, slow inhale, and then you move your body into that round C-shaped curve. very slowly, very deliberately, connecting breath to the movement. Remember, on your exhale, still, always squeeze that block so that you can employ the strength of the perineum, so we can use and continue to strengthen and tone the pelvic floor. We're just doing it a little slower, with a little more deliberation, our pace. You might even just breathe in and out while you're squeezing the block and kind of just say, I'm just going to work on the perineum right here. That's how I'm doing it. That works for me. That's a great idea. So connecting, these two movements, you could create your own pattern, something that's a little bit different. Just utilizing a more mindful breath and its slowed down version today. Good. Let's lift both arms up, reaching for the ceiling. Push your feet to the floor. So consider this a full body stretch. As you push your feet to the floor, give the block a little squeeze. You're reaching up. Now, can you feel how it's stretching your back muscles? So bring your awareness to your back body. I think if there's one thing that I would really love to find some real shift for my own practice and certainly for the way I teach, is more awareness of the back body, more intention about feeling the stretch, realize, there's the backside of the heart, there's the backside of the lungs, that's where your kidneys are. There's just so much in the back body that we rely upon, but I don't reference it much. Inhaling again and exhaling, we're going to open the heart. So it's the W shape. So long inhale for that lift and a long exhale coming out of the mouth. Let's just reach out now in a T shape. Palms are, pushing out, but not for long. Flipping now, so palms face up, thumbs pointing back. And we're going to just make a soft fist of the hands, and I want you to circle through the wrists, the intention here being movement in the wrists. So yes, we're holding our arms out, and that's a little more efforting. We're going to add to that this awareness of movement, loosening up, lubricating, if you will, the wrist joints, both wrists. And then slowly, let's bring those arms down, very slowly and deliberately, feeling how letting go of those outstretched arms feels in the body. Let's just do some work of the hands. So I've got fingertips together, just sort of creating a little, tent. So pressing in and out where you bring your fingers together, closing them up and then spreading them apart. Closing in and spreading apart. Hold yourself in right alignment, so don't change the good posture you've already found. And then just stretch. So you're holding on to your fingers palm up. So one hand is kind of the tool for stretching. So you're just sort of bending through, maybe it's finger at a time or a little group, a couple fingers stretching. The thumb is extended out. Let's do that for both hands. Stretching. Now just practice touching thumb to each finger, just moving through that. Thumb to each finger. Now let's not forget our breathing. This is a time when we'd hold our breath for sure. Find that breath. Good. And then let's locate our cloth. Don't you know, mine is out of hand's reach. Here it is. Let's keep the block. I had to drop it, but let's keep the block in place. And we're going to just let that arm reach up, straight arm up. And, piece by piece, we drop it down, no ducking. So let's just make sure we got that. We can lift it up, straight arm, and we drop it behind the back, no ducking of the head. So it's in place now. We've got it in place. There's no ducking. We figured it out. The other arm, just extend it out so your thumb is pointing down. So it's a little bit awkward. Extending it out, thumb pointing down, and then we're going to wrap it back behind us. So the back of your hand is up against your back body. Your back of your hand is. And you can find the cloth. So now both hands have contact with the cloth, and then it's kind of gripping it. You're just holding on to it with some meaning. Not so much that it hurts your hands, not that degree, but you got it. You got a good grip on it. Now lean yourself back into our imaginary wall. I mean, all of you, not just your head. Like, you're going to find that wall. So you feel like that I'm going to turn to the side. You don't need to do it, but it feels like there's this rocking movement. It's not big, but it's definitely there. You're rocking on your sit bones, the bony prominence you feel in your pelvis when you sit on this hard chair. That bony prominence is known as the sit bones in yoga's talk. So I want you to rock on your sit bones forward and back. Remember, the degree of squeezing action on that cloth, that's obviously an inside job. You don't need to, you hold it the way it feels right for you, feels good, and feels doable. Don't overdo. Certainly not today in our restorative class. Rocking forward and back. Just holding the shape, right? We just got our arms wrapped in this way and we're rocking. Now hold it in the backward movement of the rocking. Go back, hold it, lift your face up as much as it will without any strain in the neck. Deepen the breath. Now, the lower hand, that's going to continue to hold on to the cloth. Keep your hand right where it is. Release the upper arm. So you've got that freed up, but you've got your back kind of already, the back hand is already pressing into the back body. You can hold the cloth. There's no reason not to, no big deal. But this takes us into a nice, gentle approach to a twist. So I want you to turn in the direction of the back hand. So you keep kind of pressing the back of your hand. I've slid my hand down almost down into the hip and buttocks area. I've got my hand way over on this side. It's not centered at all. It's way over. And that's helping me to twist deeper. Use your other hand to stabilize, maybe hold on to your thigh, or if you prefer, there's a way that you can hold on to the chair over here. Slow motion twist. Deepen the breath so you can feel how that deeper breath infuses into the twisting action. Good. Now keep your body in the twist. I'm still holding on to the cloth. You might have dropped it, and that's fine. We can always retrieve it, but I'm just saying, if you're thinking, are we supposed to still be holding? Well, I am. And then turn your head. So now your head is turning out of the twist, but not just neutral. You're turning your head so that your chin is dropping towards your left shoulder. Now I want you to lift the chin up and bring it back down to the shoulder. So it's little tiny movements, or it might be a little bigger for you because you got a lot of movement available here. But go slow so you can scope that out. What kind of movement here? And feel it now, because this is intended for the neck and shoulders and how they're related, undeniably. Beautiful. And then let's let that go. Just start to soften. We've already got the block in our side too, so we'll be, not the block, the cloth. And let's get it set up when you're ready. I forget about this blouse. It's not the best for yoga. Reaching up and dropping it back. And remember, we're just going to do that a couple times so we know what we're doing. Maybe even how you hold the cloth has to change a little bit so that you don't have to duck. You can hold yourself very upright. And then once you're all set up, We get the other arm set up, extending it out, thumb pointing down. We wrap behind us and find the cloth and start working our hands toward each other, all the while finding the breath in and letting that exhale come out of the mouth. We're going to do the rocking action now. So it's just subtle. Mainly, it's like neutral to back. I would say that's a good definition. We don't really have to rock forward at all. We come from our neutral position and then we rock back and then we return to the neutral position. How's that for a better understanding? So it's just rocking back, always managing the weight of the head with ease. So if there's any part of this that feels gripping, difficult, boy, you need to scale something back because there's no reason for it. You don't need to have difficulty here, just rocking forward and back. Now we're going to meet in the backward movement. It's like we're tilting back. Keep your hand, that lower hand, that's going to continue to hold the cloth as you release the other arm all the way down. And then kind of neutralize that a bit. And let's let that give us entry to a twist on this side. So we're letting that back arm pull the shoulder back and around, holding onto the cloth if you want, wrapping it back there. You can find your way. Let's level out the head. So we're holding our head in a neutral position. And by neutral, I mean the jawline is parallel to the floor right now. Deepen your breath. Exhale out of the mouth. Pay attention to the sensation. Not just where you think it's supposed to be. What does she tell us about this? Where you actually feel it, where you're feeling it in your own body. So you're in communication with your body, the sensation of your body. There's that mind-body relationship we just can't overlook. Okay, we've got this twist. It's a beautiful twist of the body. Let's do something different with the turn of the head. So as we bring our head toward center, I want you to drop your chin now towards your right shoulder. Now, see, on my body, this drop of the head on this side is with a little more difficulty. I don't have nearly the range of movement, not the ease of movement anyway. It's there. I can get there, I guess, but it's quite different. And it's all good. I'm not complaining. I'm just noticing. Let's deepen the breath, chin down. Let your body guide you now as you try to explore some movements, maybe lifting the chin up a little bit and then back down, turning a little bit more towards your right. You're just letting your body help you explore ways to move your head and find different ways to feel the stretch in your neck. Beautiful. Then let's unwind from that all the way back to a more neutral position. Let's go ahead and let the cloth come, to someplace stored away. I don't think we'll return to that. And let's shrug and release. Shrug and release. Shrug and release. And we're going to come back into the vinyasa of the cow and the cat. Slow motion. Pulling the belly in. Last time. We're back to a neutral position. Let's find those goddess arms or sometimes the goalpost shape. And we're going to find this movement of the scarecrow. So we're lifting the hands up. Let's stretch our fingers apart, stretch the palms. Maybe you find that you need to back into your imaginary wall, so it helps you stay more upright, a little stronger in your back body. And once you've got that scarecrow with your fingertips drawing, pointing down, let's release it all, soften it like crazy, and feel the letting go in the body. I'm going to lose the block. Let's get to a figure 4. So I want you to just guide your foot up there. Guide your foot up. Make sure that the standing leg is well positioned. It's a right angle, 90 degrees here. Let's massage it as we try to work our heel in toward the crease, and we sit up real tall. Holding on to your leg by way of that, you've learned over time, I'll bet, what's a good, safe, and comfortable way to hold yourself here. This too is going to be a rocking action. The chest bone is going to drive this bus for you. But see if you can feel your way into the pelvis, into those sit bones like we did a minute ago. This rocking action is the very same thing. And but before we were going back and then neutral, back and neutral. Well, this time we're definitely trying to create a bigger range. We go back, we come to center, we go forward. So we're doing a bigger range of movement, but it's a very similar rocking action. Spread the toes of this foot. Activate that foot that's up there on your thigh. We're going to fold and hold. So we're going to come forward with the chest bone to that range of movement where there's a stop sign. We're going to drape our arms past our shin and breathe. Foot to the floor. So a restorative practice doesn't necessarily mean there's no intensity. So if I've misled you in any regard, it's just slower moving, more intentional about the sensation and the awareness of that. But I don't know about you, but this for me is almost always a place of intensity. But I'm not afraid of it, and I don't avoid it. I kind of like it because it always makes me feel like I'm opening up some space in here that really desperately wants to be softened up and released. So I'm doing it. I'm going to cooperate with that. Finish the breath you're on, exhale it all the way out. Come on back up. And this time, instead of just practicing putting that foot down and bringing it back up, we're going to be a little gentler about it today. I want you to use your hands to squeeze the knee into the chest. So squeeze it in, flex that foot like crazy. So this foot is very flexed, toes pointing up towards your shin. Now square your shoulders with your hips. No leaning back. Let's try it that way to begin with. We're not tilting back. We've instead put a firm wall behind us, and we're pulling that thigh in toward the chest here. Squeezing. It's a squeeze of the leg on purpose. Now, belly breaths is what we want now. I want you to push your belly as you breathe, pushing in and out. You can feel the movement of the belly in this squeezing action here. Check in, make sure you didn't add the squeeze to your mouth. Sometimes we start to bear down there, so we want to release all that. We don't need it there, just here. Beautiful job. Let's come on down, nice and easy. Catch up with your breathing. Any movement your body needs, any resetting. And we're going to guide this second side into the figure 4, noticing the difference and making sure your standing leg is at a right angle. Your ankle is right below your knees, and that's a nice firm base. Massage like crazy. Tend to yourself here and holding yourself very upright. Right now, we're very upright. So just, this is the tenderizing part. This is where we're using compassion rather than bullying. And that's not reserved for just restorative class. That's something we want to employ all the time. The rocking action is what's next. And this one is a little bigger than we had done when we were using the cloth for our shoulder opening. This time we're going through the full range of movement, just like we did on side one. But be sure you let your chest bone do the movement. It's not your face. It's certainly not your chin jutting out there. Let your chest bone drive the bus forward and back through the range of movement that you find. You don't want to bully, but you're willing to experience the intensity of the movement. Maybe it's already a little bit intense or a little bit strained. Soften something. And the next time you're folding forward, drape your arms past. So it's a fold and hold. Now holding your head, managing the weight of your head so that you're mindful of that. That's really all I'm asking is you stay mindful of it. That's going to protect your neck because you're mindfully managing the weight of the head. Feel the fullness of your breath. Don't escape. Don't escape the intensity by taking your mind somewhere else. Stay with your intentional awareness of your breathing and of your body. Even directing your breath right into the intensity, right into the part of the body that seems to need the most attention right now. The breath is like adding the secret sauce to help you open up and release. Finish the breath you're on. Let's come back up. We're going to squeeze that bent knee into the chest. So gradually just grabbing hold. You hold the shin, not your kneecap, and we're not leaning back. We're going to bring ourselves very upright into that imaginary wall, very upright, squeezing and holding that bent knee right up into the belly, right? Let that thigh come into the belly area. And so we're breathing belly breaths, pushing the belly as you breathe. You're on purpose with that. There's always some movement of the belly, I'll bet, but this one's very intentionally moving into the belly wall. Excellent. All right, let's release. We're going to take a wide angle now, stretching heels in and toes out very wide. I want you to just circle around in your pelvis for a bit. Loosen up the low back. Try to move mostly in the pelvic region, not so much in the upper body. The upper body obviously has to come along for the ride in some ways, but the movement is focused on pelvic movement, so you can feel that in your low back. Change the direction when it just seems right to do so, and you want to do it at least once. You might change direction a few times. Smoothing out the breathing. And then we're going to do a forward fold, one forward fold. So we're coming all the way down, shoulders are in between the legs, letting your top of your head stretch down toward the floor, holding your feet, holding on to something. You want to ground yourself. So get your hands connected some way, grounding your body. Now, when you breathe, I want you to breathe as though you're trying to expand through the sacral area, all those muscles that attach to that sacrum, right there at the very base of your spine and your pelvic region. You're trying to, all those muscles that attach to the sacrum, you want those muscles to feel your breath, like you're trying to stretch them. One more good breath. One hand at a time will come to your thighs. Squeeze your elbows into your waist. Lift up to half lift, so you've got a diagonal line of your back body. Squeezing elbows in toward the waist. Chest, chest, chest. Push your feet down. Deepen the breath. Breathe out through your mouth every time. Let's extend our arms like wings. Push into your feet. Long, strong breath. Exhaling through the mouth. Now, instead of extending your arms wide away from you like you see me doing, bring them back almost, maybe you can even touch your chair, but back, back, back. And then let that pull you up back into your neutral position. Let's raise both arms up. This is kind of like a full body stretch, just a little different arrangement of our legs, a little wider stance. Push your feet to the floor. Feel like that stretch is coming up through the legs, up through the side body, up through the back body, all the way through the length of both arms. Breathing both in and out. Inhale through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Excellent. Let's bring our arms down and we're just going to bring ourselves upright, practicing balancing. So nothing fancy here, just sitting down and standing up. You're just using your tools, your balance, and the strength of your core. Great. Let's find mountain pose. I like the block. You know that. I put it between my lower legs. You can choose how you prefer. Maybe you choose not to use the block. Obviously, that's your choice too. Make sure you have a soft bend of the knee. Find the imaginary wall. Let's close the eyes and find the full breath coming in through the nose and blowing out of the mouth. Just a gentle blowing and releasing entirely that exhalation. So it feels like that inhale is fueled from your whole body. Maybe it feels like the inhale starts at your feet. And when we exhale, it's like all through the body. That exhalation has kind of soothed and glided past all the muscles of the body. Two more breaths. Make sure you've counted. You know you did two. Flutter the eyes open. Inhale with me, palms together overhead. Exhale, bow at your heart. Inhale back up and exhale your backstroke all the way down and around. Let's lose the block. We can reposition the chair so that you have the back of the chair available for you. Don't mind me, just cleaning up. So that you've got the support to come up onto your toes. So I want you to just work on that where you've just lifted your heels and you're pressing into the balls of your feet and your toes. And then maybe one at a time you do it. So it's almost a walking movement now where knee bends and one heel is up and you can just feel that walking action. You really feel it in your toes. We're going to balance on that. So there's going to be a bend of the knees like a squat. The heels come up. Now, if this hurts your knees in any way, then you're just going to skip this. So if this is hurtful for your knees, don't do it. Otherwise, it's a balance, not using the chair for support. You're balancing on your toes. Find your breathing. Nice job. And then heels down and back to our mountain position. Just take a pause. Make sure you're all caught up with the breathing. We're going to do our L-shaped stretch. Extending back. So just walking back, back, back. Arms alongside the head, right past your ears. Creating a right angle with your body. Now, this is where we work on straightening the legs, trying to come into a place where there's very little bend of the knee, stretching instead, the hamstrings, stretching the calves. And holding your head right between your arms. Don't let your head drop. That heavy head wants to, sometimes I see it a lot in the rooms, that head just drops way down. I want you to prop it up so it's right there, placed between your arms. Your ears are right between your arms. Good. Let's start walking toward the chair. When you come into an upright position, more or less you're in your mountain pose. Straight leg back. I'm not touching, I'm just kind of letting that straight leg pulse up and down. And I want you to notice where you feel that in your body. Let's stay with this same leg. Now bend the knee. It's back there, kind of floating back there still. But we're going to add a bent knee. Straight leg. Now, for those of you, it's not for everybody. This is where that cloth might be used. Just saying. To see if you can do a quad stretch by grabbing hold of your leg and your knee is down and it's not in front body. So I don't want you to let your knee bend and it's up front, but it's at least alongside the other leg, the other knee, or it's even behind it. So quad stretch. Heel drawing towards your buttocks or pulling it away. Both are good stretches. They're different. And then we'll release all that. Now shimmy around a little bit. Catch up with your breath. You don't need to move at all. I just want to always keep my demonstration available to you. So you don't need to move at all. We're just switching to the other leg. So it's that straight leg, new leg coming back, kind of floating back, a straight leg. Now notice where you feel that and what range of movement really suits you. Smoothing out the breath. We're going to bend the knee. So it's floating back there, but we go from a bent knee to a straight leg, a bent knee, and then a straight leg. It's just floating back behind us. Let's go back to just the straight leg movement. And both feet back to the floor. Let's stretch that all out in the L-shaped stretch. Same thing. Press your feet like you're making an imprint with both feet, including all your toes. You're trying to straighten those legs. But the position of the head is probably my primary goal right now, is make sure it's right between your arms. You're not letting that heavy head drop. So it feels strong and well aligned. As you find that breath in through the nose and coming out of the mouth to cool the body down. Let's start walking toward the chair. Take a moment now and just in your mountain pose. We don't need to round up the block unless you prefer it, layering your hands right on top of your chest. Soften the knees, we still want to do that. But feel like your body, your whole body is held in strength. That's the whole kind of the idea between why mountain pose is named that, is about its stability and its strength, its majesty, if you will. Thanking yourself here. That's why we're here right now. Thanking yourself for your restorative practice. The mindfulness with which you've approached this practice today. Good. Let's come back to that now, to our Shavasana time. Good news, it's time for Shavasana. So we're going to get our chair or our two chairs. Some of you are using two chairs to create a more relaxed environment. Drink water. Oh, would you believe I didn't bring water? Settling in, minding self. Try to keep yourself right where you are. Don't get distracted by the what's going on in your household or what's next after this. Really stay devoted to the time you've set aside. This is really the most important time, is our meditation and relaxation period. Certainly as valuable as any of the movement for strengthening and balance. So no shortcuts here. There's no such thing as kind of comfortable. To coin a phrase from one of my favorite teachers, it's no such thing as kind of comfortable. You got to get very comfortable. And you do it on purpose as a way of taking care of yourself. loving yourself, if you want to call it that, which I like. Once you found your way into your very comfortable position now, you've done all the things, you've made the adjustments. Let's bring our full awareness into breathing. Just like at the start where we knew we had to do something special, otherwise we would not be able to stick with breath awareness, we're going to need to do it now more than ever. And this is where we employ mantra. We say things to ourselves. We remind ourselves that we're breathing in and we're breathing out. In and out. But use this, a kind way of approaching this. So it's you're using your sweetheart voice to yourself. It's sweet and kind, in and out. Committing to inner self-talk that's kind, loving, tender. Even in a simple little mantra, there you're using your sweetheart voice. In and out. And try to notice how your body is feeling as it's starting to let go and let down, and trusting that it's held and supported. It takes a few breaths, doesn't it? We don't immediately go there. Maybe some of you really know how to do it. For a lot of us, we got to step by step bringing ourselves into this place of utter relaxation and trusting that we are being held and supported. And we can trust that we can let go. We can let go into that. Let's add that second mantra, deep and slow. Inhale the word deep. Exhale, you're using the word slow, using a voice that's kind and sweet. Coaching yourself so you'll stay fully aware of your body as it is beginning to really let go and relax and soften and rest. And see if you can make your breath silent. See if you can add that component. And finally, using the word calm and ease. So our mantra has changed one last time. Inhale, calm. Exhale, ease. Really allow your body to be supported by the surface that's beneath you. Allowing yourself to be held. I choose that word intentionally. I find great softening, great tenderizing in my own body when I imagine that I am being held. So I use it. Here's a reading from The Promise of a New Day. This is the book my mother gave me years ago. It's been special to me for years. It's so worn out, but it's particularly important to me now that she has departed. God did not make us to be eaten up by anxiety, but to walk erect, free, unafraid in a world where there is work to do, truth to seek, love to give, and win. That's a quote from a person by the name of Joseph Fort Newton. Today stands before us with promise. It invites us to fully participate in experiences, that we are alive, that we stand present facing this day, guarantees that we are qualified to handle every challenge that snags our attention. And we need have no fear. The world and all that's in it is spiritful. We are safe and secure if we but believe it. When we look toward the day with confidence, we tap the inner strength that is ever present. The more frequently we turn to this strength, the less often we are haunted by pangs of anxiety. Our trust in that strength heightens our faith and our understanding that all is well, always and forever, all is well. Giving up fear offers a freedom that will exhilarate us. Faith, trust, confidence will ready us for any challenge, all experiences. Nothing needs to make me fearful today. I am here. Therefore, God is here too. Some of you may be familiar with the Christian mystic Julian of Norwich. She is the one that's attributed very often that all is well, all is well, all matter of thing is well. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and let that exhale come out with a sound and a big sigh. Ah. Do a few of those. Stay with that, breathing that big breath in and sighing it out like this is the only way you're able to cleanse anything that needs to be released. This is the way we're using that sigh to release, relax, and get rid of something that just needs to go. Let's come forward on our chair. So we want to be back with feet to the floor and back to a place where we're using our strength of our core, no longer resting into the backrest of the chair. Let's give some particular attention to the neck and shoulders. So bringing your hands right up into your neck, right where your shoulders meet, that neck area, and squeeze and maybe gently move your head around. Pay attention to it. All the movements are mindful. Pay attention to every little move you make, squeezing, massaging, breathing. Very mindful. People are nervous about moving their head around because, it's sensitive and they've got neck issues, let's say. But I kind of maintain that if you stay very mindful and move in that way, tiny little movements, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine. Stay mindful. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me. So let's sync up our breath one last time. Inhale, palms together. Exhale, we bow at our own heart. Inhale up. And when we exhale, we're going to share this beautiful, loving, and peaceful energy with our community. Remember, let peace begin with me. Hands come back to that prayer position. We bow to ourselves and we bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay.